Здравствуйте, привет, and hello. Welcome to another video about learning the Russian language. In our last video, we learned the instrumental noun case. That is the sixth and final noun case in the Russian language. So in this video, we're going to do a review of all 6 noun cases, just to make sure that you have them all straight and that you're not mixing them up. So let's get started. Oh, and if you were wondering, when you modify a verb for a specific pronoun, that is called conjugation of the verb. When you modify a noun, it is called noun declension. A little strange, this word, but now you know. Okay, so first we've got the nominative noun case. That is for the subject of a sentence. And that is the regular one. You don't need to change the noun in any way. The noun, just as it is in nominative case, right? Nominative from the word to name. The accusative case is for the object of a sentence. The dative case is for the indirect object. The genitive is for possession. The prepositional case is for the prepositions like in, on, or about. And the instrumental case is whenever you're using a tool or if the word with is there. Okay, so this is a quick overview of all 6 noun cases. Now let's take a look at them. Specifically, we'll start with the nominative versus the accusative. So, the nominative is for the subject of a sentence. Это картошка. This is a potato. Картошка is the subject. It's what the sentence is about. So, we use nominative case. But the accusative is for the object of the sentence. Я хочу картошку. I want a potato. Now I is the subject. You know it's the subject because it is doing the action, right? It is doing the verb. I am doing the wanting. So the sentence is about me and I'm the subject. But what do I want? I want the potato. So that is the object of a sentence. So картошка had to be changed into accusative case. So let's see a quick review of how to change the noun to accusative. If it is a male animate object, meaning it is a male noun and it is alive, a person or an animal, we will change the ending to a or ya, unless it is a noun that ends in a, right? In which case it is treated like a female noun. So all of the regular nouns like son, syn, becomes syna. But dad, papa, it ends in a, so it gets treated like female, it's papu. But for the most part, if it doesn't end in a, it's gonna get an a or a ya. If it's inanimate, but male, it doesn't change. So banan and dom, they stay the same. If it's female and animate, it gets an u or a u ending. So mama became mamu. Дочка, дочку. And the same thing if it's female inanimate, u or u. So vodka becomes vodku, and ruka becomes ruku. If it is a neutral inanimate object, because remember we don't have any neutral animate objects in the Russian language, but it will stay the same. It doesn't change. Яблоко and лицо, the same. Now, if it is plural and animate, that is the most complicated situation. There are 3 possibilities. Either there is no ending, the ending gets truncated, like mamy becomes mam. Or you get a or of ending. So synaviá becomes synaviei. Kati becomes katov. And if it's plural and inanimate, there's no change. Banane and lica, it stays the same. So overall, inanimate objects don't change unless they're female. All female objects, whether they're animate or inanimate, will usually get an u at the end, but sometimes a u. Male animate objects will be treated as female if they end in a. Otherwise, they're going to get an a or ya ending. And then for plural and animate, there are three options: truncation, or a, or of. Okay? So let's look at some examples of the nominative and accusative cases. My wife loves people. So wife is a subject of the sentence, and it's going to stay in nominative, but people are the object. So моя жена любит людей. They want a cat. Они хотят кота. We eat meat. Мы кушаем мясо. I know Marina. Я знаю Марину. His friend loves dogs. Его друг любит собак. Now, let's look at some more noun cases. For nominative, that was the subject. Accusative, that was the object. Like, я даю картошку, I give the potato. But the dative case is for the indirect object of a sentence. To whom are you giving the potato? Я даю ей картошку. I give her the potato. So it's not just with the verb to give that has that indirect object, right? You can give someone something, or lend someone something, or throw something at someone. I mean, you can also say something to someone, shout to someone, read to someone. So there are a lot of different verbs that would have an indirect object naturally in the sentence. So in those cases, you're going to use the dative case. To whom are you doing this action? So let's review the dative case. If the object is male, it's going to have an u ending, but sometimes u. So syn becomes synu, dom, domu. But if it has a ending with an a, it's going to be treated like a female noun. Papa becomes papia. Females, you add a ye. Mame, дочке, водке. Neutral, same as male. U, sometimes u. Яблоку, лицу. And plural, it's usually sometimes yam. Мамам, лицам, сыновьям, бананам. Okay? So let's look at some examples with the dative case. She gives the apple to Anna. We give the pencil to a friend. Oh wait, all the English ones come first, so let's look at the translation for the first one. She gives the apple to Anna. Она дает яблоко Ане. And remember, for this one, order really doesn't matter. So you could say она Ане дает яблоко, or она дает Ане яблоко. It can go anywhere. it is clear that it is to Anna because it is in the dative case. We give the pencil to a friend. Мы даем карандаш другу. Again, order doesn't matter. You can put to a friend anywhere in the sentence. Just about. They give the food to dad. Они дают еду папе. I give the papers to the doctors. Я даю бумаги врачам. And we also use dative case when we're talking about age. So, Grandpa is 100 years old. We're going to put Grandpa into the dative case. Дедушке 100 лет. Okay? Now, possession. That is going to involve the possessive case. So in English, we show the possession with apostrophe S. Anna's house. Dad's brother. The apple's juice. But in Russian, we're using the genitive case. Did I say possessive case? I meant genitive. So, that noun case, how do we put a noun into this case? If it's male, you're usually going to add an a, sometimes a ya. The only exception is, of course, if the noun already ends in a, in which case it gets treated like a female. But for, so papa becomes papi. But for all the regular ones, it's sin becomes sina, and dom becomes doma. For female, you add an e or u ending. Мамы, дочки, водки. For neutral, same as male. So, яблоко, лица. For plural, there are three options. Truncation, no ending, or a and off. So, мам, лиц, сыновей, бананов. Okay, so let's look at some examples with the genitive case. Misha has a dog. So remember, we usually use that in Misha's possession there is format. У Миши есть собака. And dog is just in nominative case. The doctor has a husband. У врача есть муж. This is dad's sister. Это сестра папы. Right? So it's very important here, the order. In a lot of cases in Russian, order is very flexible. This is not one of them. Okay? It's the opposite of English. Right? Sister comes first. This is a sister. And then whose sister? Dad's. The dad comes second. Okay, so the opposite of English. Very important, this order. Это сестра папы. This is Sasha's apartment. Это квартира Саши. The friends' houses are big. Дома друзей большие. Okay, so remember, order matters here. The object comes first, then the person possessing that object. Then there's the prepositional noun case, used with prepositions. So, if it's male, it ends in ye. If it's female, it ends in ye. And if it's neutral, it ends in ye. Basically, if it's singular, it ends in ye. So this is one of the easiest noun cases to remember. And if it's plural, it usually ends in ach, sometimes yach. So, мамах, лицах, сыновьях, and бананах. Okay, so And then there's that one exception, that is floor. Pol becomes palu. And then, of course, you need to know those prepositions. So in is v, on is na, and about is o. Let's look at some examples. I'm in the house. Я в доме. The cat is on the bed. Кот на кровати. The book is about doctors. Книга о врачах. The computer on the desk is big. Компьютер на столе большой. The book in his hands is about people. So there are two prepositions here. Книга в его руках, о людях. Okay? And then finally, we have the instrumental noun case. So if the object is male, it gets that ending, sometimes yem. Unless, of course, it is like papa and ends in a, in which case it's treated like a female. So sin becomes synom, dom becomes domum, but papa becomes papai. So just like a female noun. So female nouns usually get an oi ending, sometimes a. So mamai, дочкой, водкой, that's usually that ending. Neutral, just like male, so you get яблоком, яйцом, right? It's usually ending. And plural, it's usually ami, sometimes ями. So мамами, лицами, сыновьями, бананами. Okay? And then, of course, you often use the instrumental case when there is the word with, which is s. Some examples. A friend and I are eating. So that is that specific we were talking about in the last video, right? So in Russian, we wouldn't say a friend and I. We would say we, with a friend, are eating. Мы с другом кушаем. He's going home with grandma. Он идет домой с бабушкой. I live with Marina. Я живу с Мариной. And again, I wanted to point out that here, in this situation, order doesn't matter much. So you can even say, я с Мариной живу. I with Marina live. It doesn't work in English, but it absolutely works in Russian. Russian is very flexible about the sentence structure in a lot of situations. He lives with friends. Он живет с друзьями. Or он с друзьями живет. I forgot to put the two dots above that yo. But anyway, she writes with a pen. So when we're using an instrument, we don't actually use the word with. Она пишет ручкой. Just having pen in instrumental case is enough to tell you that it is using the pen. Okay? So here is a summary of the noun declension, how to modify the noun. So as you can see, we've got all of the 6 noun cases listed on the left. And then in the red and pink colors, that is for singular, masculine, neutral, and feminine noun declension. And then in the blue is the plural form. Okay, so in the nominative case, right, the noun, if it's masculine, it usually ends in a consonant. Obviously, there are exceptions like papa, but for the most part, it ends in a consonant. If it's neutral, it usually ends in o, and if it's female, it's usually a, sometimes ya. Okay? And then if it's plural, right, we pluralize masculine and feminine nouns with u and e. But neutral ones we pluralize with a or ya. Okay? And then the genitive case, right, it is the same for masculine and neutral nouns in the singular. And for plural, it's the same in the neutral and feminine situations. Dative is always the same in all the plural cases. It's or yam. Okay? Accusative, that is the only one that differentiates between animate and inanimate objects. Okay? So for neutral, since there are no inanimate objects, it gets conjugated or modified like the nominative, so it doesn't change, right? And in the animate cases, it's like the genitive, and inanimate, it's like the nominative, unless it's female. And then finally, we have at the bottom instrumental and prepositional. So hopefully this summary will give you, you know, a quick kind of, be like a quick cheat sheet if you forget how to change a noun. You can just glance at this. Feel free to take a screenshot of this image here. It is a good reference sheet. The other thing we should mention is question words. Okay, so this is important when you're asking questions in Russian. So if it's in nominative, I'm basically saying who or what the thing is, right? So the first column is for animate and the second one for inanimate. So if I wanted to say who, I would say кто. What is что. For genitive, it is possessive, about possession, right? So if I want to basically ask whose is this? Or what is this, I guess, if it belongs to an object. So кого, чего. For dative, it's about to whom, right? For the indirect objects, кому and чему. Accusative, кого, что. Instrumental, using whom or with whom, or using what or with what, кем, чем. And prepositional, about whom or about what, о ком, о чем. So these are question words that are very important when we're forming questions. So let's look at some examples of questions. Who are you going with? Okay, so it's not who, it's with who, or with whom. С кем ты идешь? Who are you giving the pen to? Okay, it's not who, it's to who, or to whom, I'm not sure. To whom, I think would be correct. So to whom are you giving the pen? Кому вы даете ручку? What's the book about? So it's not what, it's about what. О чем книга? About what is the book? What do you eat bread with? So it's not what, it's with what. So instrumental. С чем ты ешь хлеб? Who is eating soup? This really is just who. Кто ест суп? So hopefully that is all understandable and clear to you. And so these question words are really the only new information in this video. Everything else was review. Okay? And I want to also look at some complex sentences, because sometimes sentences will have multiple noun cases in them. And that could get a little confusing, but it's not that bad as long as you can break things down into small pieces. So let's look at the sentence, Mom's sister gives the book to Marina. Okay, so this is about the sister, right? I know that the sister is the object because she's, or rather the subject of the sentence, because she's doing the action, she's doing the giving. So sister is going to be in nominative case. That's not going to change. That's just sistra. Whose sister? It's mom's. So mom will be in genitive. And it will come second. Order matters here. Sistra, mamy. Right? And then gives the book. So the book is going to be an accusative. And to whom? To Marina. That is the indirect object, so that will be the dative. Сестра мамы дает книжку Марине. Okay? Сестра мамы дает книжку Марине. Remember, to Marina, that part can go just about anywhere. Right? Сестра мамы Марине дает книжку. That's fine. The only part where the order really matters is that sister comes first, then mom. Okay? So, stra is nominative, mama is genitive, knižka accusative, and Marina dative. A friend and I are in the apartment. Okay, so this is that specific we, right? We're saying we are in the apartment, but it's with a friend, right? We with a friend. So that with is going to be, that means instrumental. And in the apartments, that is prepositional, because in is a preposition. Мы с другом в квартире. Okay, so instrumental and prepositional. So it's not too difficult. As long as you break it down into small pieces, you will know how to do the proper noun declension. That's it for this video. Great job for making it this far. That is all of 6 noun cases in the Russian language. In the next video, we're going to learn several new verbs. And remember to subscribe. I post new videos every week. We learn Russian from scratch. Have a wonderful day, and I'll see you next time. Bye!